Tonight we're speaking with the family of a man who was shot by a former Montgomery police officer. Welcome to the News at 10. I'm Brady Talbert. In 2020, former officer Cody Smith was sentenced to 14 years for the manslaughter of Gregory Gunn. Smith shot Gunn during a field interview in 2016. Earlier this month, it was announced that the Attorney General's office would now be prosecuting the case. Montgomery District Attorney Daryl Bailey said he was disappointed but would respect the AG's authority. The exact reason for Marshall's takeover of prosecution is unclear, nor is it yet known if the decision could impact or delay Smith's hearing. Today, the family of Gregory Gunn wanted to honor their brother. The Gunns described Gregory as the backbone of their family and that they are wanting to see what comes from the AG's office.
The general is advocating for a convicted criminal of manslaughter to free him of charges of manslaughter. When you committed this crime and was convicted by a jury of your peers, but they're not advocating for the Gunn family who never gonna see their brother again. We can only visit him in the grave. Right. And that's, to us, is no justice nowhere in that whole ordeal.
Earlier this month, when WSFA 12 News reached out to the AG's office for more information, we were told they did not have a comment at this time. Smith's attorney has also declined to comment.
You heard it right. The top law enforcement official in the state of Alabama personally advocated for a dirty cop that had already been convicted of manslaughter by a jury. I just read something about interstate shootings becoming commonplace across the state of Alabama. Do you guys know what an interstate shooting is? That's when you're driving down the highway and somebody randomly pulls up and shoots into your vehicle. With all of the crime in Alabama, how does the top law enforcement official in the state have the time to personally advocate for a dirty cop? Listen to this statement from Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall. Despite my personal misgivings about the strength of the case against Mr. Smith, my office successfully defended the conviction in accordance with our statutory duty. I then watched as the case went on to the Alabama Supreme Court and back again to the trial court late last year. I firmly believe that Mr. Smith was due a new trial, but after 8 years of watching this protracted litigation, I exerted my authority to bring this case to a close. Note, he said after 8 years. Steve Marshall was appointed Attorney General by the governor in 2017. Cody Smith was charged with murder in 2016. Steve Marshall has been following this case since before he was even Attorney General. I can only speculate. Maybe there was too much publicity on the case when it went to trial in 2019, and the fear of public backlash prevented Steve Marshall from jumping in and taking over the case at that point. But fast forward to 2024, Cody Smith is in prison serving his sentence and appealing the conviction. With no media attention, the opportunity presented itself. Steve Marshall assumed control over the case and then used a loophole in the law to personally retry the case himself. Get this, he allowed Cody Smith to plead guilty to the same charge that he was already in prison serving time for, and then released him from prison with a suspended sentence. 21 months time served on a 14-year sentence.
Head back to the prison where he is serving in Limestone County today, and depending on how quickly they process this, he will be released. He also has to pay a fine of around $1,100 that has to be paid before he is released as well. Reporter Brady Talbert was in the courtroom as well, and there was not a whole lot of emotion initially, but after this agreement was reached and everyone left the courtroom, there was more emotion out here, a lot of happiness from Smith's family, a lot of heartbreak from Gregory Gunn's family.
What a way to destroy the grieving process for Gregory Gunn's family. We have to speak out against this type of shit. I know the natural reaction is to say, well, that's Alabama. Well, that's Mississippi. But these dirty cops move between police departments. This Cody Smith guy might end up in your community.